Hey everyone, welcome to our Friday stream. Different day
Welcome.
than usual, but
Yeah.
worked well for
Changing it
me.
up.
Worked well for me and Simon, so we went with it.
Hope
Probably
everyone's
noticed I have
doing
no
great
green
today.
screen today. It's a little bit hot in here. I didn't want to get that all set up. So, also I'm not wearing my bomb uniform, my bomb hoodie, because it's again too hot in here. So,
Get your cap, sir. Get your cap.
what am I here? All right, so I guess I'll just do a short intro while we wait for some more people to roll in. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. Some pretty major items, and sorry, because I didn't lock the cats up, so I'm gonna have to be moving them to the side every once in a while. They love jumping up on the desk. Yeah, so we're gonna talk a lot about the current peg level, a little bit of what transpired that might have caused that or contributed to it, and what's next with peg. Then we're going to talk a lot about marketing, and in particular Galaxy, and some of the things I want to do with Galaxy and some of the success we've already had with Galaxy, and how we can use them to really get anything that we're doing or that we want awareness on. We can easily, for almost no money, get incredible awareness on that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about that in detail, and I'll show you guys the campaign and stats and all that stuff. Then I guess the main purpose of this AMA was going to be Bim.Money. So we're still going to get into all that, strategies with that. And after that, we'll talk a little bit about some alpha. That's going to be game changing. So
oh, yeah.
That's what's on tap for today. So it looks like we got a few people in.
LFG.
All right. Alpha injection.
Yeah.
I'll let you handle the putting stuff on screen so we're not fighting each
Yeah,
other.
I got it.
All right, cool. So I guess first let's talk peg level. I guess for that I can share my screen and show the peg. Get that open. If it wants to load.
There is no peg.
Let me switch my RPC. These RPCs are driving me nuts. Cycle between like 5 different ones, depending. Yeah, there we go. Switched it and right away it's up. All right. So, obviously we're hovering around, the 1.0 area for a little while there. And then there was, I guess a fairly large sale, which dropped it down a bit. And obviously that was, really not what I was looking for. I was, really upsetting to see that. But people are going to sell when they sell. So that's, what happened. And a lot of others followed suit afterwards. And, I guess a lot of people, when they see things going down, they get worried and they panic sell. So, I think that's a lot of that's what's, started that whole peg drop. Now, something else I want to bring up is, so I'm not sure how many of you know, but I was in discussion with a couple different private investors, 2 of them specifically, but I also had others that I was, not that deep into conversation with, but other options as well. So the private investor that seemed like it was very likely to push forward soon. I found this out right around when peg just started to drop. And, I figured that's a deal that we were probably going to close pretty quick. And, when I take in private investor money, my primary objective there is that I got to be able to make sure I can give them a return. So, it's a lot easier to give a private investor a return when the protocol is not, top healthy, right? Like when it's, a little bit under peg and, the shares are a little bit cheaper. So
when there's a great opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like with the private investors, I'm basically taking in a certain amount of either BTC or USD, and, I got to return that and more. A lot more difficult to do if we're above peg and shares are expensive. Like my usual strategy that I'd, done in the past with great success is a lot harder to execute in that state. So, basically I was obviously really upset that, we had dropped peg. But there was a little bit of a silver lining there that, I was anticipating getting investor funds, relatively quickly. And that would have, boosted everything back up and, had the firepower to maintain it there. And basically everybody wins in that situation. The private investor would have won. Everybody participating in the protocol wins. So, it's unfortunate that actually that did fall through, unfortunately. But so the point of why I'm telling you this, or one of the points, is when Peg started to drop, you guys might have noticed I wasn't in chat quite as much, or, I was spending more time doing development work. And, basically I was somewhat okay with the Peg being a little bit lower for a short period of time if it was going to benefit everybody in the long term, or even the midterm. Like it wasn't going to take that long for things to happen. So, so I was kind of okay with that for a temporary drop in Peg. Long story short, there's a misunderstanding between me and the investor. I explained that the low Peg was actually beneficial and makes it easier for me to, make sure that I do well with their private investment, and that seemed to turn them off for some reason. So that's when that went south. So anyways, here we are now, and, the Peg has dropped, and, I'm not sure how much more I could have done to stop that drop, but I guess you could say I wasn't 100% going crazy to try to, bring the Peg back up as soon as it dropped, just because I was fairly certain that a private investment was going to be coming in really soon. So, I'll take a little bit of the blame for that. I probably should have just been doing everything as if, until the money's there, and everything as I was doing prior. But I mean, I don't think there was that much I was really doing different. I didn't sell any bomb. I didn't tell anybody to sell bomb. I basically just wasn't in chat as much, I guess. Yeah. So I guess that is what it is. But
yep.
So that is the story with the private investor and the Peg level. I'm still in talks with other investors. They're not quite as far along as I was with the previous. So the initial two, they've both dropped out. But I mean, again, with our new Peg ratio, regaining Peg it's peanuts compared to what it was before. Like, it's the way to think about it is that, 1 million bomb now is the equivalent of 10,000 bomb in the past. So, I think there's it takes 0.4 BTC last time I checked to repeg. On bomb's original run, our liquidity pool had over 100 BTC in it. Like, this is not a lot of money we're talking, right? Like 0.5 Peg, it's not worrying me in the slightest. Like, obviously I don't like it because it doesn't look healthy. And, obviously some investors are leaving because maybe they just see it's been dropping, fairly steadily. So, and there's no question in my mind that we're going to regain Peg, and, everything's going to be really pumping. We got a 12 to 18 month bull run ahead of us, and there's going to be capital that needs to go somewhere, and I'm going to be doing everything that I need to do to secure that capital and get those inflows pumping. And, we got a lot of, including the alpha that I'm going to bring up later, it's going to be a really strong case to, get bomb. I guess a great use case for bomb where, let's just say that until I get into that, let's just say it's going to be great for bomb, which is obviously great for the whole ecosystem. Also, feel free to ask questions at any point, guys. I don't mind stopping to answer questions. So if anything comes up, let me know. Related to Peg, not sure what else there is to say about that other than, I am going to be a lot more proactive now in driving inflows. The next thing I'm going to talk about is marketing, which is going to obviously help inflows. Yeah. And, I guess the main thing here is, bombers hold strong, have faith, and, we're going to repeg this. It's not going to be a problem. Look at it as a buying opportunity. I know that this depeg is a little bit lower than the last couple that we had since we relaunched, but every other time we've bounced right back up. So just look at it as an even better buying opportunity, really.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's no question it's going to happen. So any questions about Peg or anything that I've said? Feel free to post them up.
We're going to blast. Bombers are strong. Bull run is just around the corner. Yep.
All right. So let's talk marketing now. Or do you have anything to contribute to that whole Peg conversation?
No, I mean, I'm just like you. I'm not worried at all. This is I don't think it's worth talking about. I mean, obviously, a lot of people do worry about it, but like you said, with the new ratio, this is peanuts. We have a lot of things on the horizon that just it'll make this irrelevant pretty soon, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into marketing, and I'm going to kick that off by showing you guys what we've done with Galaxy. And I guess first I'll explain Galaxy for anyone that's not familiar. Galaxy is like a platform where mainly, I guess, all Web3 protocols can go to do all kinds of stuff there. So you can have, for example, campaigns where people have to do certain tasks and then they get rewarded with something. Or you can, well, I'll show you some of our campaigns just to give you an idea of what you can do with it. So let's just to show you our progress here. So I just went to Spaces. So right now it's showing us the trending spaces. Here we are right here up in the list, which is, I believe, 8th in the list of trending. And well, it would have, if we did the AMA yesterday, I could have showed you. So our Twitter campaign just finished. That's the one that got us the bulk of these 250,000 followers to the space. That campaign was incredibly successful, and I actually just created another one last night to try to get that rush going again. I'll show you guys that in a second. So let's go over to Bomb. 251,000 followers, 18th place in all of Galaxy, even though we're a relatively new space here. So essentially what we're going to do here is we're going to do a lot of different things with Galaxy. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to continuously run giveaways to get people to, tweet or actually, I'll show you our latest campaign. So we just integrated with XY Finance. They've got all of our tokens listed, and we now have access to, put their swap on any of our sites, whether that be our dApps or our traditional sites. So this is just an idea for like one of the campaigns that I'm going to run like on a weekly basis. So this is the one that I just started yesterday to run for a week. And right now it's got 208 guys that have done this. But every time someone does this, they have to join our space. They got to follow Bomb. This time, just to be nice to XY, I made them follow XY Finance too. They'll appreciate that.
Respect.
Follow myself just to get myself some more followers. And then the focus of this one though is, like, as I mentioned in the name, retweet to win Bomb and XY Finance integration. So I have a Bomb tweet where we talked about our integration. So they're going to retweet that, they're going to like that, and they're going to visit Bomb dApp or Bomb Max. That's where the widget is currently. So we can do an unlimited number of these. So any tweet that we ever have that we want to get attention on, like our last tweet that we did in the first campaign, it had something close to 1,000 retweets and likes, maybe a lot more than that by now. I personally gained 2,500 Twitter followers. I think Bomb and Peg Up gained about 2,500 each also. So like these are just incredibly powerful, and this only costs us $50 worth of prizes. So this is one example of how we're just going to grow our following and get more awareness and just really be able to target tweets and get attention on them. Like that tweet that we got like 1,000 retweets and likes on, we had all kinds of comments from other guys because like that starts showing up in their feed and everything, right? Because of all the popularity. So this lets us really pick and choose what we want to emphasize and get the word out on. So this is one really great thing about Galaxy. Let's look at some of our other. Went the wrong way there. So let's take a look at some of our other campaigns to show some of the other cool things that we can do. So, for example, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, if all you guys are aware of this, but we created a fun ERC 404 token called Peggy 404, kind of related to PegHub, not really to Bomb related, but we're just using this campaign to just basically track, put a couple requirements and, basically we can use this to reward our users based on activity in the ecosystem. So like, for example, you have to stake PegHub and PHub Maxi, you have to do a couple other things, and, then basically you're all good to go to get an airdrop. So this is, this is public on Galaxy, where we're now a super popular space. So this is getting more attention on this. And I have something way more bullish about Galaxy that I'm going to share in a second. But so some of these other ones that I did is, watch Bim.Money on YouTube, win 10 USD. Like we can just do all kinds of giveaways. Yeah, there's really no limit to what we can do with Galaxy, and we have so much attention on it. It's going to be huge for marketing. But one thing I think one thing that's going to be really great to do is, so one thing that we've struggled with since the last 2.5 years is user education. People still don't know that, if you have B2 shares in the boardroom and we print, if Peg's at around 1, it's probably not a good idea to dump all your bomb and buy B2 shares. And a bunch of people do that. And now we're under Peg, and now the B2 shares go down in value, and then everybody's pissed off. And, it's just, we're building so much utility around bomb that, obviously some people are going to sell bomb. That's okay. But, there's so many great things that you can do with the bomb that are better than selling it. So I feel if we educate the users on the best way to use the ecosystem in a sustainable way, that's going to be huge for us. So I'm going to show you guys like an example of how this could get set up. So this is a Mission Web 3. They basically just have a whole bunch of modules, and I'll go into one, for example. So this one is, introduction to Web 3. You got to just, go to a website and do a little quiz. You got to do these in order, go to a website, do a little quiz, and same thing here. And so basically what we can do is we can set up these modules for all the aspects of the ecosystem. And it's really simple. You basically visit a page, like we'll send people to a docs page that explains stuff, ask them a short quiz after just to make sure they get it. And then we'll reward people for that are completing these things. And, just like this is a really well set up one, this Mission Web 3, but, they have numerous modules that you can do. And, we can have actual real rewards, like, whether it be tokens or it be, we haven't figured out all the little details about this, but there can be real money rewards for people that go through all the education, or even potentially we can give them other perks like boosted APRs in the future. So, there's unlimited possibilities about what we can do. And the thing is that Galaxy is so well integrated with on-chain that, and actually I'll demo that real quick. So I made a campaign called BIM Money Specialist, somewhere around here. Bomb Internet Money Specialist. So just to show you the contract interaction, this is just checking, have you deposited XBOM collateral? And then BIM, have you borrowed bomb internet money? So this is checking the contracts directly, and then basically giving you the completion after that, right? So through our Bomb Academy, right, or through our our educational campaigns, we can once they've gone through it, we can basically have requirements like this, where it's try out our Bomb Max auto compounding vault, or for the BIM Money module, maybe we'll have it so deposit some XBOM and borrow some BIM. It wouldn't have to be any large numbers, just to show that they know what they're doing. It could be super small numbers actually. And we can reward them with real world tokens. Like maybe we'll give them a little bit of BIM, maybe we'll give them a little bit of bomb, maybe we'll give them some XBOM. Right. So there's really no limit there in terms of the contract interaction. And yeah, the possibilities.
What I find really cool is that this simplifies a lot of things. For giveaways and stuff, I've helped design and stuff some much more complicated ways. This, we can kind of set it up. A lot of things are automated. Like you were saying, it's very well integrated into on-chain. We can even, do verifications on one chain and do something else on another. It allows a lot of flexibility in a simplified way, which is really neat.
Well, yeah, actually, just to add to that, so we can have requirements on Galaxy that when you complete a campaign, you get an NFT, right? And we cover the gas cost for that. So when you get this NFT, we can then have things in our smart contracts that actually check if you have this NFT. So essentially we can automate everything. And as Simon mentioned, cross-chain as well, right? So, if we need you to do something on another chain, that works. And we can still reward you with, an NFT on whichever chain the services that we're going to give you access to if you've done that. So Galaxy just really makes this all super simple, and gives us unlimited flexibility. So it's insanely powerful. And we really lucked out how, our space just got boosted right to the top. We're up there with some big players up there. So Galaxy is gonna be a huge part of our success moving forward.
Yep.
Anyone have any questions about Galaxy or marketing? I feel like I'm a teacher. I'm like talking and like, anybody have any questions about that?
Should start asking quizzes.
You know what?
We could.
So just to demo that super quick, I don't want to get too off topic here.
No, that's fine though. I really like that we keep thinking of and looking into other campaigns and finding new ways to use this. But
So here's one that I didn't do yet. So this is like an example of how this will work, and then I'll show you like why this is so much better than any other way we can do education. So this is how it would work. They tell me, okay, go to this site, read this thing. I know enough about this stuff. I don't really need to read that to probably answer the questions. Which one of the following is a layer 1 network? Solana. Which one of the following statements is true about layer 2? Layer 2 networks validate. Layer 2 networks have one more layer and operate slower. Rely on layer 1 for security. There we go. So, I mean, again, if you're super well informed about all this stuff, you probably don't even need to read the page. I actually don't know that much about layer 1, layer 2. So the quiz was luckily easy enough. But yeah, when I was in the earlier modules, it was super easy to get through them. But no, so that quiz that I just did though, that's the key, because we can tell people all day long to go read our docs, but if we have it so that you need to, we give you the link to read the resources, and then you have to answer a quiz. And if you don't get the quiz right, then you're not going to move forward, right?
Yeah. Don't get the NFT. And if you don't have that NFT, we could, block people from doing certain things. Not blocking maybe isn't the right word, but, use that as access to certain new functionalities and stuff.
Yeah. And the beauty of this too is that the way that these guys set it up is really nice. We're going to do something really similar. We're we'll have a module for each of the different aspects of the ecosystem, and each of the modules will have different things within them, from easier to maybe more complicated things. For bomb.app, for example, right? We can talk about, staking single assets and how that works, right? And then the next one would be about, how to, zap into the farm. And then the advanced one would be about, leveraging and,
Yep. Got a cool comment here. We've been actually talking about this for a little while. Boosted APRs for good actors.
Actually, that's something I wouldn't mind addressing real quick. For one, let me just preface this with, I love the good actors and I'm not a fan of the bad actors. But having said that, this is not an easy metric to draw on, right? So I think it was the Peggy 404 token. When I created the campaign where you have to have P-Hub to get Peggy 404, someone brought up, if you can give this to good actors, instead of, bad actors, or something along those lines. But as much as I love the idea, the thing is, it's hard to quantify a good actor versus a bad actor. And as soon as you try to do that, people will find ways around it, right? it's for one, it's extremely complex to even draw that up. Who's selling, what's the peg at when they're selling, when did they buy, to make an algorithm or a formula to determine who's a good actor would be very difficult, and it would be super easy to get around. So as much as I love the good actor thing, I think it's next to impossible to implement, especially in a way that can't be abused. So I love the idea, but I don't think it's practical.
I understand, hence the quotation marks. Well, if ever we find a metric that can be used, but it's,
again, I'm going to go back to what I always say, right? I think it's best to, for one, educate people so they know the options, that what they can do with their bomb and why there's better options than selling, right? And the thing is, there's always going to be sellers, right? So it's something that it's, you just got to make it the better option to not sell, and then on top of that, educate, right? So if you have the education, I think that all works out. So so I think that's all about Galaxy. You know what, I've kind of got to run to the washroom to take a leak real quick.
Go for it. What was next on our list?
Bim.Money strategies.
Bim.Money strategies. Start talking about it, but
okay. or maybe you could just answer questions or just entertain the crowd
Yep.
for just 30 seconds.
I'll try.
I'll be right back.
Anybody have any questions? This is the right time. Give me some material to work with, people. Yeah. So Bim.Money, for those who aren't aware, is a fork of MIM, Magic Internet Money. We allow people to deposit XBOM, which is a constantly growing asset, meaning that your XBOM, once you deposit a bomb in XBOM, it's a asset that keeps growing. Because there's some money that keeps getting injected into it from the prints. This happens on a completely random basis to ensure nobody abuses this. But basically, BIM, Bomb Internet Money, allows you to deposit XBOM and withdraw BIM as collateral, using your XBOM as collateral. Since it is an asset, XBOM, that keeps growing, your position gets safer and safer with time, because the value, as long as peg stays constant, keeps growing, growing and growing, which is pretty awesome. So eventually you can use that BIM, you can sell it to buy more bomb. Currently right now, because of liquidity pools, V2, V3, I suggest selling it for BTC, and then BTC, you can buy your bomb or zap into the LPs, start growing with that. And then once you're ready, you can buy back some BIM to pay it off. Sometimes somebody sells a big chunk to buy more bomb, and there's actually a good deal on BIM. So there's some fun little buying opportunities and ways to make profit, because your loan, if you borrowed 100 BIM, say somebody sells a bunch and it goes lower, you can buy it for cheaper, pay back your loan for cheaper than what it cost, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, just to add to that, in general, if you ever see BIM over $1, you definitely want to borrow and sell it down. If it's ever under $1 and you owe some, it's a good time to pick some up and pay back your loan, or maybe pick some up and add liquidity, or anything like that. But
buying ops here and there, which is pretty cool.
So let's talk some strategies, what people can do with BIM to keep the ecosystem healthy and make themselves some extra money. So, I mean, the first obvious one is, if you have BOM, you can put it into XBOM once we're back to printing in the very near future. XBOM gains a lot of rewards. So that's, just having XBOM is just a great place to park BOM. But on top of that, you can always jump into here, and you can, I'm not even sure what my account looks like right now. But yeah, so you can just jump into here and you can borrow BIM. What can you do with the BIM? That's what we're about to talk with the strategies. So, well, for one, with BIM, you can just sell it and do whatever you want, as the first thing you can do with it. But what you can do is you can just cycle it back into BOM, take your BIM, buy BOM. And actually what I did is this swap link at the top. I just made this into a super simple mini site for the XY Finance widget, just because for technical reasons, and this front end being like 8 years old, I couldn't integrate it in there. But yeah, so like the default that you see is just, swapping BIM to BOM, but you have all the other options on terms of what tokens you want to use. So this is a great place to just, swap.bim.money, or you can just grab it from this link here. So that'll let you basically, for one, if you want to sell your BIM, you could sell it to not only BOM, but you could sell it to any token on any network. Just because XY Finance has cross-chain stuff. Yeah, so we made swapping a lot easier there. So some of the other strategies. So when you have your B2 shares in the boardroom and you get your BOM rewards, I mean, so for one, that can just go straight into XBOM, and that just, that's a great place to put it. But if you're looking to build up your farm position, what you can do is you can still put some of your BOM into XBOM to give you more collateral for BIM. And then you can basically borrow BIM and then buy BTCB with that, and basically pair that with the remaining BOM that you have, right? So that you can basically use that strategy to not have to sell a single BOM and build up your farm and have XBOM collateral that's going to keep earning for you. So that's like a great strategy if you want to put zero sell pressure on BOM and, you want to build up your farm. So that definitely is a great strategy. I mean, I guess those are the two primary strategies, right? Just to cycle your BOM back into XBOM, like from the boardroom, and then you can deposit that here and into BIM money, and then borrow BIM to do whatever you want with it. But yeah, I mean, building the farm without having to sell anything is also a really good use of it. And I can write a blog post, detailing all this, just so it's a little bit more clear. I thought I had a third strategy for BIM. I'm trying to think. That's why I should always write things down. Okay, well, if it comes back to me, I'll go back to it. But
yep.
Any questions on BIM? Anybody use it? Anybody have any difficulties with it? One thing I will say is I noticed that you have to refresh your page pretty often, which is a bit of a pain. Like every time you deposit some collateral and you borrow some BIM, you're not going to see any update until you refresh your page. Right. Let's borrow some BIM. That's a little bit of a pain, but I think other than that, the DApp's working really well. Yep. All right. Any questions on BIM or strategies or anything along those lines? We got a quiet crowd today. We got to start doing some rewards for whoever's most active or ask the best question. All right, next AMA. We'll do another one next week because the alpha we're about to talk about, it's something that we're not going to talk too much about it, and we're going to do the real drop next AMA.
Yep.
I guess
pretty big though.
I guess we can move into that if there's no questions or there's nothing else about BIM to talk about.
Just a little quick preview or a little quick, even less than a preview.
Yeah, I'm just looking what else I had open to see what I wanted to maybe show people. Here's going to just show off my followers. Like that Galaxy campaign in a week brought me from 3K to 5,500.
Nice.
And so we're going to keep running those weekly campaigns, and all of the important Twitter accounts are going to keep flying. And again, we can then just get really hard focus on specific tweets that are the real money tweets. So yeah, I'm going to be a lot more proactive starting right now to get everything really pumping for everybody. All right, I guess the alpha. So, while I hadn't been in chat quite as much, I've been working quite a bit on a new, I guess you'd call it a new feature, it's going to be available in the BOM DApp. It's going to be a strong use case for BOM. It's going to involve locked BOM. So it's something where, you're going to put your BOM in and you're going to lock it for a certain amount of time. Max is going to be a year. And there's going to be a lot of different benefits that are going to come from doing that. And we haven't finalized 100% of the benefits, and we could always add more in the future. But the first stage is that you're going to be able to buy BOM and lock it. And basically it's going to be locked for as long as you lock it for. Well, I guess we can get into all the details about that next AMA.
Yep. But yeah, there will be definitely some benefits and good reasons to do this.
Should we throw out some of the ideas we had, or probably say that for next AMA?
I'd keep that for next AMA. But if anyone wants to speculate, give us ideas. We've thought of a bunch, but maybe some we didn't.
Probably need to know a bit more of the context to give us ideas. Maybe. Well, I guess
probably.
Well, I guess people are going to lock BOM, and we're going to be able to do special things for people with lock BOM.
I would keep it like that, and without any extra details. Does anyone have any idea what would you like to get out of a lock BOM position? It can be now, it can be in the chats later. Anyone watching this in the future, but it's extremely bullish for the whole ecosystem, which is awesome.
Yeah, because a lot of the ideas that we have are things that people are going to anyone that's deep into the protocol, they're going to want these advantages. Yep. So they're gonna want a lock BOM, and this will be one of our first, staking tools where you're not going to be able to withdraw whenever you feel like it. So that's so when somebody sells a couple BOM and everybody starts to panic, well, those are BOM that aren't going to get sold because they're not going to be accessible. So yeah, I'm really excited about that, and some of the ideas that we have for the use cases and the benefits that we give to people that have participated in that are going to be huge. So a lot of exclusive things, and extra earning, stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I expected this to last a lot longer with all the things I had to talk about, but
Yeah.
the audience is not really asking any questions. So
But yeah, next time we should definitely have some prizes for questions or some prizes for something. Figure out
yeah,
some way.
yeah. So actually, so I guess one other thing is that there's a couple things that I had lined up, and I kind of just put them on a very temporary hold while I was waiting for that private investor thing to go through. Because, again, it's a lot easier for me to, generate returns for a private investor if, we're a little bit under peg and the shares are a little bit cheaper. So there's a couple things that I had ready to go that I just kind of just held off on for a second. So a lot of those things are going to be coming out in the next couple days. So we've had a couple YouTube videos that have been made about us that I've got to share and everything.
Oh, we do have a question.
Who's reading questions?
I'll go for it. Back to BIM. What are the main differences, if any, between that and BUSM?
Back to BIM. What do they mean? So in terms of, well, I guess that's a two-pronged question because there's like, what are the difference in the token? Nothing. Although I've done a lot of things differently, learning from last time. So the borrowing and lending, well, the borrowing pool is different now in a couple of ways. I'll talk about that. And also you'll notice here, there was 50K minted only, right? So because until the liquidity is strong enough, I don't want to have like 500K tokens there ready to be borrowed. So that's one change that I made, is that I've really limited the initial supply of BIM, and we can add more BIM to this borrowing pool whenever we need to. But yeah, I'm not going to do that until it makes more sense. And on top of that, the interest was increased for BIM, and there's a slightly higher borrow fee as well. This is mainly done to, be able to give the Bim.Money protocol extra revenue to incentivize liquidity providers, because that's the biggest challenge with BIM, is to get enough liquidity into BIM. So the more that I can incentivize that with this revenue, the better off we're going to be. So I guess, yeah, that's pretty much all the differences I can think of. I'm actively seeking like an investor to put up liquidity for BIM. That's quite different than the private investment for BOM, because that would be like a BTC based investment on the BOM. But this is more of like a USD based investment for someone that's just looking to earn a lot more on their USD. But yeah, very bullish on BIM.
Thank you.
Let's address this one. Aaron,
what was the last time you sold P-Hub?
That's a great question. Probably 3 or 4 months ago. I mean, unless you count like a fraction of a P-Hub that I might have sold to some B&B for gas or something. But no, it's been forever since I sold any P-Hub. Since definitely before the BOM relaunch.
There you have it.
Oh, actually, let me add one more thing to that. So I also have V3 liquidity on P-Hub. So, basically that lets me essentially, it's not really selling, but I can put up P-Hub for people to basically buy along with the V2 liquidity. And then I guess that's somewhat selling because I'm putting the liquidity in as just P-Hub.
Whoa.
But that's just a very small portion of my P-Hub holdings. So
yep. Oh, I have a good question.
I feel I had to include that there just to not off in a technicality.
It is a cool kind of next level strategy, though, in certain situations.
Yeah.
What is the role importance of B2 share? Are they worth keeping for now? I'm guessing for now, or what happens when farming them ends in July?
Excellent question. So, this relaunch was set up a little bit differently than your typical Tomb fork, or really any Tomb fork that we've ever done in the past. And that was because the initial B2 shares at the very beginning of this launch, which was like 4 or 5 months ago, before we like added the farms and everything, we were going to only offer B2 share through LP bonding. But that didn't really excite people. And also we weren't yet in the start of the bull run, so it didn't get much traction there. So what we did then is, so again, we started with what, like 60,000 B2 shares approximately. So those are sitting in our treasury, ready for people to bond with them, LP bonding. And we used 15,000 B2 shares for the current farm, which is, obviously the BOM BTC BLP and the B2 share BNB. So I set it for 6 months just to give us more flexibility as to, what we want to do in the future, or if we want to add anything else in the meantime. So the treasury still has, it lost a lot of B2 shares to LP bonding, which is fine. That's the whole purpose of it. But I think there's still 43 some odd thousand in there. So definitely a couple thousand got taken from LP bonding.
Mm-hmm.
But so we have 15,000 B2 shares in the current farm, another 43,000 in the treasury. So, a certain portion of those should be kept for LP bonding. But the remaining can definitely be used for new farms, additional farms, enhanced farms, specialty farms. We have a lot of B2 shares that we can basically, once we figure out the right thing to do with them. So, the most simple thing would be to just create another farm once the 6 months is up. But we're going to do, a lot more than just that. So, and actually, this one of our strong ideas. I'll save that for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a lot of good ideas about what to do with those B2 shares.
Yeah.
So this is just the first farm of more in the future.
Thanks. How many people are working full time for the BOM ecosystem these days?
Can I count my cats?
Yeah. Always on your keyboard anyway.
Full time. I say full time hours. There's probably like 3 to 4. The team is definitely a lot smaller now. I feel that, just looking over the last 2.5, 3 years, I feel that having a strong core is what's critical. And like, I'm really efficient when I work, so I can do the work of a small team myself typically. So, I think that obviously it might look negative that this team is smaller now, but just like the first time around, once we have more need for more people, we'll bring people on right away.
Oh, yeah.
And having Simon and Lico working with me, it's they're both machines, and I could not have two better guys that I'm working with right now. So with me doing what I'm doing and them doing what they're doing, we're golden right now.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely be looking to hire once the need arises. There he goes to sell all of his tokens because we only have 3 employees.
LFG.
Oh, Lico's trying to pry. Yeah, you know what? Once we talk about the alpha next week, then definitely we can have a huge discussion about what ideas we have for ways to use this new tool or feature to really benefit the ecosystem. And we'll be all ears for any ideas that you guys have, and even get your feedback on some of our ideas as well.
Absolutely. And I really think like we should, it's a model, the way we're going to be doing this, we can definitely add on more advantages in the future. So there's nothing limiting us in the future. So if ever anyone has any ideas at any time, feel free to share them with us if it makes sense, and if people like it, we will provide it.
You know what I just noticed? Out of our 40 viewers right now, we got 11 on YouTube and 29 coming from Twitter.
I saw that.
Say. You know what that's from? It's from the Galaxy campaign pumping up the account.
Yep.
So Galaxy already paying dividends. So welcome everybody on X. Glad to have you guys here. Actually, if you guys wouldn't mind, try posting a comment. I wonder if it comes up in our system here.
Hopefully.
I see all these comments are from YouTube.
Yep.
But anyways, yeah. So a lot of bullish things coming up.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I guess any questions about anything that we've said, or you know us, and no questions off limits. So ask us whatever you feel like.
Oh, we got a question from X. Hey guys, let's go bomb.
Let's go. Okay, the
Yeah.
X questions work.
Excellent.
I wonder
Thank
how
you.
that works. Do you just reply to the? I've never seen our stream on X. I'm gonna look at my phone super quick.
No? It's probably
Uh,
just a reply to the stream. Anyway, thanks. Welcome, Caleb.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Does Aaron have anything else that he wants to fork?
I mean, I got like a list like this fills an encyclopedia.
Yep.
No, I love forking projects. I love playing around with new things, but that's the tough thing for me. I have to fight myself on that because I always like playing with new technology and launching new things, but at the same time, like we have something incredible here with Bomb, right?
Yeah.
So I need to focus on the right things. So yeah, that's pretty much that. So in my spare time, I'm a pretty efficient guy. I can get a lot done, but in my spare time, I do play around with different things and forks. And if you have any exciting forks for me to look at, maybe just don't tell me when I'm doing anything too critical because I'll probably just stop doing that to go play around with it. But
I gotta go.
yeah, get the whip out, Aaron. Back to Bomb.
Well, if there's no more questions, thank you very much, everyone, for having us. Thanks for coming. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And for those on X,
I guess just like and retweet.
Like and retweet.
That's the
Yeah,
equivalent, I guess.
yeah. Share the love.
Anyone that's not in our galaxy, let me post a link to that. Now that we're verified, it's a pretty simple link. Galaxy.com/bomb.
Love it.
Wait, that went to everywhere except for X.
Except for X. Why?
Okay, well, it is galaxy.com/bomb. But yeah, definitely go follow our space and keep up to date on our campaigns. And this is going to be a huge tool for us. We to be honest, we really lucked out on how fast this took off for how new we are, and so we're going to take full advantage of that.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, let's maybe give it a couple seconds to see if any other questions roll in. And I guess while we're waiting those couple seconds, I want to see how this live stream looks. I'm going to check on my phone.
Yeah, I'm checking right now. Can we? No, I don't think we can write.
Let's go. I don't even see it here. I'm an amateur. I'm on the Bomb. Can you guys tell me how to find it?
I just clicked on in our streaming software on the top right. You can view on X. That's on the phone. That's on the PC.
Okay, well, let's not waste people's time. Figure that out.
No, exactly.
All right, guys.
Have a nice day, everyone.
Yeah, it was a great stream.
Weekend.
And next time, bring a few more questions, but or don't. Either way, just we're gonna have some big alpha next AMA next week. What do you guys prefer, Friday or Thursday? I don't really mind either one. But
I like Fridays. Wednesdays.
You like Fridays? Okay, let's stick with Fridays then. I like Fridays too.
Works. Yeah.
All right, guys. So let's plan on doing it at this time every week unless something comes up and we're not able to. But I think for the most part, we can probably do one once a week at this time.
Same Bomb time, same Bomb channel.
You got it. All right, guys. See all you guys in the communities, Telegram, Twitter, Discord.
Yes.
See you guys on Galaxy. All right. Well, everybody enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. And once again, thanks for being part of the protocol and joining in on the stream. Take care, guys.